Hello everybody, welcome to the factory floor here at ABE Beverage Equipment in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Brad. I'm going to give you a quick little tour of kind of our production floor and kind of give a little detail on a 3-barrel pilot brew house. Kind of either a brew pub situation, or if you got a 30-barrel system and you're cranking away, some of those fun batches can be done on a smaller brew house. Going to give you guys, like I said, a quick little tour. This is going to be our canning line production area. We've got all sorts of things halfway through production here. We use a modular build system, so we'll build all of our sub-assemblies and have these ready to go, and then we'll pull them off of the shelf, add them onto a frame, and build canning lines. You can see we do our own electrical boxes and controls in-house, program them ourselves as well. These are pretty complicated machines, but once we get them all put together, it comes together quite nice. Oh, look what we got over here. We got Ben.
How you doing, Brad?
Ben's one of our senior canning line, I guess, gurus. He knows pretty much everything about all the canning lines that we've been doing here for the last 8 years. It's been a while.
Yep.
Got a couple of different models here. We've got 15 cans per minute all the way up to 90 cans per minute. That's usually the 12 ounce. But we can also do some crazy can sizes, some fun ridged cans. We've got big cans, slim cans, pretty much all can sizes we can get you taken care of. We do a lot of testing in-house. We go through a lot of cans, but you got to test, make sure it works before it goes out to the customer. We have our depalletizers here. Put a whole pallet of cans and it will take them off, shoot them down a twist rinser, and feed them directly onto the canning line. We have one of right here, our 0 footprint rinsers that's being tested currently. We do pretty much everything from a packaging perspective. So the rinse, the fill, the lid, we can do date coding, shrink sleeving, even just the basic PSLs, the pressure sensitive labels. We do bottling as well, which is kind of fun. Those are a little bit bigger machines in the next building over. This is our production equipment. We have our brew houses, our mash houses, hot liquor tanks, etc. Even, as you see here, some distillation equipment. We started doing distillation a couple of years ago. Craft distilling is definitely a new hot upcoming industry. Lots of new distilleries popping up everywhere. We've got, let's see, this guy right here is a 10-barrel direct fire unit. This guy is pretty close to being done. I think we got final testing next week on it. All we need to do is hook up the heat exchanger up front and get that burner in the back tested. These systems here are very similar to the pilot brew house that I'm going to be going through, just obviously a little bit bigger. The main difference is going to be this guy. The pilot brew houses use bicep power. Here we use an SEW gear motor. I think this is maybe a 3-horse motor. Gets all the grain turned, and then when you're done with your brew day, you can actually grain out automatically with that rake, which is super nice. Let me tell you, the brewers think that, especially coming from doing kegel half batches or half barrel batches, having a grain out system is really nice. This is the brew house that we're going to look at today. For those that have been to breweries, pilot systems are so much fun to have around. And like I said, if you're doing a brew pub situation, this could be the workhorse behind your entire facility. So this is a 1-pump mounted system. Not really made for doing double batching, but works just great as a single batch brewer. It is a mash tun, lauter ton combination. It's got the simulated wedge wire V false bottoms. So we use a laser to cut And then we use a laser on the other side to cut a thicker groove, so anything that gets into the front will fall through, but does provide a nice grain bed support base. We have piping, goes all through the front and transfers the wort into your wort grant. The wort grant is an open air system that will will allow there to be an air gap between the pump and the false bottom area. Now, for those who have stuck a mash, you know that is one of the worst things that can happen. So this wort grant allows you to basically avoid 90% of those stuck mashes. You can still do it, it's just a little more complicated. The fun thing about these systems is they are electric, but they are not direct electric. So we have an oil system. We surround the entire kettle with a heat transfer oil, and we electrically heat that oil. This is the overflow basin here, in case for some reason it does overflow. Doesn't really happen, but better to be safe than sorry. I don't have the cover off, but there are 3 heating elements in here that will heat up your oil, and it gives it the same effect as a steam system, just without all the extra cost of a steam boiler. This is fully filled and sealed when it comes to the customer, so there's no worry there. And the oil lasts probably, depending on how often you brew, 6 to 18 months. Take a look inside. Both of these vessels have a flip top design. This is where you're gonna paddle away and mix up your mash. We have our Vorloff deflection plate, kind of minimize hot side aeration. We have our sparge ring here. I don't know if you can see them. There you go. All the little holes. And then we have our CIP ball. This is a full rotational spray ball. Only the best. You can get this guy clean in about 15-20 minutes of a pressurized flow. Kettle, pretty simple. This is a kettle whirlpool, so we do have our tangential whirlpool inlet. One thing to note, it is fully tangential, so it's not like a little tube comes in and turns a corner. We get a good at least 12 inches of straight flow. Really does help get that whirlpool going as fast as possible. You can whirlpool from just a boil to a good debris cone in the middle in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how many hops you have. Also have a spray ball in here as well, CIP clean, and then we have a hop deflection plate at the bottom. So this will allow the cone to settle at the bottom of the kettle after whirlpool, and then keep those hops from dripping and bleeding into your drain. Just makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to take apart and clean your plate and frame heat exchanger every single brew, which is this bad boy right here. About 300 pounds of solid stainless. Like I said, you can take these apart. Not really recommended to do it after every brew. We usually say about every month or two, you can take a look at them. The controls on this guy are pretty simple. Your mash slaughter ton temps, your kettle whirlpool temps, and then the actual oil temperature. You want to monitor that. It should be around 350 degrees. It's pretty hot. Your brew pump, so that would be the pump in the back. It's just a little VFD, up or down. And then you have your flow meter, which would be this guy right here on your liquor blending assembly. So you'd have a hot water and a cold water inlet. And from there, it goes through your flow meter. It can detect flow as well as keeps your total. So you know exactly how much you're putting into your grain bed. From there, you just have your brew pump on and off. Obviously, your emergency stop. These are all hard piped, stainless, multi-position trigger valves. Will allow you to just do a quick jumper hose with soft hose to make your transfers in and out. Also for cleaning, your CIP, etc., you can do it pretty easily from here. This is one of the easier systems to use instead of a diverter panel where you're always moving back and forth. That's a game of how quickly can I burn myself. These are a little bit nicer, just for everyday use. So that's it. That's a full brew house for like I said, for excuse me, this is a 5-barrel pilot, not a 3. This is a 5-barrel pilot system. This one was slotted for Bev Masters. So this guy will do 5 barrels finishing volume. So we quote all of our equipment in how much wort you will have in your tank at the end of the brew day. So although it's 5, our level is here, so you can fill her all the way to the top with an extra, 10-12% liquid. You have plenty of room for true bloss, etc. We have full options for customization. We will do short, squatty tanks. We'll do tall, skinny ones. We do serving tanks. We'll stack them. Basically fit anything you've got as far as a facility that's a little bit small, or you have like a cooler where you want to have a nice wall of stainless. We'll do some tall, skinny tanks. You can see some pretty tall guys there. That should be a 30-barrel HLT and CLT. Getting that one ready to go here pretty soon. We have a 3-barrel automated system. This one's going to Central New Mexico. They're doing a college fermentation program. So this would be a kind of a fancier version of the pilot in about the same size. I appreciate you guys for taking the time. Check out what we've got here. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email. 5-Star and ABE work close together. We actually use 5-Star chemicals here to clean our kegs and do testing on site. We have a little delivery service of cold brew coffee, etc. So you can get either one of us, and we'll do what we can to help you out. ABE Equipment is happy to work and get you guys equipment to brew whatever you need. Beer, seltzer, coffee, you name it. Thanks for taking your time, and have a good one.